Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hopefully, you guys are having a great day. Fantastic day, in fact, and excited for Friday. Hopefully, you're doing something great this weekend, getting ready for a great weekend of relaxing and doing something great. So, want to talk today about something that I think is pretty important and something that I started doing many years ago that really, really helped. And I kind of forgot about it until I was in a coaching session yesterday, and the person I was coaching was saying that they had been asked by their financial department to provide this thing that we're going to talk about, and I was like, man, I forgot that's a really big thing, and so wanted to share with you guys the difference between an annual budget and a cash flow budget. Okay, so a lot of people turn in annual budgets, obviously, for your ministry. And typically what those look like is, hey, for, summer camps, we're going to spend this much money, and hospitalities, we're going to spend this much money. And it's kind of like this big picture of the entire year. Hey, we're going to give your youth ministry, $10,000. Okay. And, how are you going to spend that $10,000 this year? And you kind of break it down. Okay, let's spend $2,000 here, $3,000, and that's a good way of doing it. And most churches are going to operate that way. But I found that this cash flow model does a couple of things for you. One is it really shows you on a monthly basis what you're spending money on and how you're going to spend it, and really targets it to make sure that you're exactly what you need, where you need it, when you need it. Okay. The other thing it does for me is it forces me to do the things that I said I was going to do in each of those months. Okay. So for example, you're going to go to a summer camp, let's say in June. Well, you don't spend all of your money for summer camp in June. There's things that you have to do before that you're going to spend money on, but maybe the money's not turned in yet. And so what it does is it allows you to see that there's money coming in for things, money going out for things at different times, but it's all going to level out. Plus, like I said, what it does is it allows you to see that, hey, in August, we're buying things for, June or July. We're buying things ahead of time, but you're going to spend it here, but the income's not coming in here. Okay. And so it begins to show you all that, and sees where it allows you to see it. Plus, it allows you to see, hey, where are things going? And is that really realistic? Okay. So where this came up from, well, my first two youth ministries, I had a budget of $200 a month. Okay. So that was it. Like my first church, literally, it was $200 in cash. And that was my petty cash. That was my budget for the whole youth ministry, was $200 a month. Okay. And so I didn't want to hold on $200. They didn't want me holding $200. So I just told our financial person, hey, just each month put the $200 into the envelope. And then I would stockpile that. I would save that up. I wouldn't just spend it. So I made a little budget, knowing that, hey, if I want to spend this much money in a few months, I got to save a couple months up to be able to buy this new whatever it was, right? But there were some things that I was doing every single month. So I knew that I would take out that much money for taking students to lunch or sermon illustrations, things like that. So I would take out a little bit and she'd put the rest in. Okay. So I always had a little bit of money there. Then I went to my second church. They gave me this really cool thing called a credit card. But again, my budget was $200 a month. All right. So I knew that I had that, but this time I had to take care of it. I had to watch a little bit more because I was spending on a credit card, but I knew my budget was still $200. Now, there is where I really learned the power of generating your own financial income. And so I, at that church, I did a thing where we did an opportunity raffle. We couldn't call it a fundraiser, or a raffle. So we called it an opportunity drawing, not a raffle. And so we essentially sold tickets for items and things like that. And so people bought these opportunity tickets, and then we pulled the name, and people won all kinds of really cool stuff at the end. So anyway, we did that there. Then another church, I did this other thing to raise money, and you'll see that in this monthly breakdown. So annual budget, versus a cash flow budget. Okay. So most of you guys have seen an annual budget. I want to show you a cash flow budget and what it looks like. Okay. So let me show it to you right here. Okay. So what you're going to see is over here, you're going to see that there are these different things. So this is, for me, I labeled these differently. This was just mainly for us to see how the different money was being operated and used, because what I really wanted to know was this expected expenses versus this expected income. So at the very end, those could line up, because for us at this church, this one, we were completely reliant on our own. We didn't have any church budget supplied for us. We had to fundraise our own money completely. So I wanted to know at the end of the year, are we evening out? Okay. So here at this top section, you'll see January and February here. We'll just look at these 2 months and you'll see how it pans out for the rest of the year. But basically, this top section is everything that I'm going to do every single month. All right. So every single month, we're going to have leadership meetings every month. We're going to be doing some things for students every month. We're going to have leadership personal meetings. This is me taking adult leaders out, or other people taking adult leaders out, lunches with students, leadership gifts, sermon illustrations, monthly art supplies. Okay, so gifts for students. Again, some of these things we're saving up each month. Okay, but it's there for me to potentially use it if I needed to use a gift. Somebody graduated, they got their driver's license, whatever. I had some money set aside to buy them just a little appreciation gift, right? Small group curriculum, small group gatherings, monthly magazine. Again, I didn't necessarily buy a magazine every single month, but I was setting aside every month to say, hey, I want to invest in myself. I want to invest in other leaders. I could buy them a magazine. I could buy them a book, something like that. Okay. And then this is the income tithes offering. And then Club 52 is the fundraiser that we did. We basically asked people to say, hey, would you commit to giving us $1 a week to help the youth ministry's budget? Okay. And then that can be a whole nother video, but then everything down here, this is everything that's going to happen in that specific month. Okay. So everything up here in this top section is everything that's going to happen reoccurring every single month. And those numbers pretty much stay the same every single time. And then these over here this is what's happening. This is what's going to land. That's what's going to be spent in this specific month. Now, again, you're going to see Mexico missions trip. That's in the missions count. So again, that's going to be a different line item at the very bottom. It doesn't really affect our balancing out of our budget, because that's all going to come in and out. So it's going to come in for expenses, and we're going to even that out. So that's going to level out. But facility upgrades. So that year we wanted to do some facility upgrades, advertisements. In January, we bought new banners, new things like that. This was our Club 52 banquet. So we had $350 to buy food, supplies, all kinds of stuff for anyone that joined what we call our donors, our Club 52 partners. We had that, right? So again, what this allowed me to do is I could get a volunteer, and I could say, hey, you're over the Club 52 banquet and your budget is $350. You could, whatever it is, supplies, food, gifts, everything is going to go under this Club 52 budget. And I could tell that person, this is exactly what you have to spend. Website upgrades, we were going to spend that. Leadership training. Okay. So we were going to do a special leadership training event that month. All right. So again, coming down here. So here's another thing. Okay. So a rush hour event for Valentine's Day. That was a specific bigger outreach event that we were going to be doing, that we're going to require some extra money, some extra expenses there. Okay. So again, our Haiti trip wasn't until the summer, but we were going to be doing a training in February. So we were going to spend $200 there for that trip, but we're going to have income for many, many months later, but it was there. We knew we were going to spend that. And so again, our financial team could see all of this. The other thing it does is down over here, we had all of our codes already written out, right? So anyone that was spending money for this event, for this rush hour Valentine's Day event, there's the code. Boom. Anyone that's spending money for that Club 52 banquet, boom, there's the code. So when they could spend money, they could do the reimbursement or the purchase recs or the purchase reimbursement forms, and they had the code, they had the receipts, they'd have everything they needed. They knew how to move forward with confidence because they knew I would tell them, look, here's your budget, go do it. All right, go get them. Right now, if they're going to spend over, they got to come for approval. They got to show why. We got to talk through it. But if it's in that budget, go for it. All right. So that's the difference, a little bit of a difference between a annual budget and a monthly cash flow budget. I went to this many years ago, and it was a game changer for me because I knew exactly where all my money was going, and I knew that, hey, also there's other times where it was like, hey, man, we really want to do this thing, and it's going to be more than what we expected. Well, if I don't spend some of these other areas for a couple of months, I can stockpile that and then spend it bigger there. So I want to encourage you guys, consider going to more of a cash flow budget than maybe just your annual budget. Now, so just tell you what I did is my church required an annual budget, but I always did this cash flow budget for me internally so that we could know, we could reconcile our accounts pretty rapidly and know, hey, are we getting ahead of ourselves? Are we behind? All that kind of stuff on a monthly basis. We knew exactly where we were at, and we knew what we could do and what we couldn't do. So I want to encourage you guys, consider going to a cash flow budget, and we'll see you guys next week.